Becoming who you're meant to be won't be effortless, but can be done with the proper advice. Life can transform in an instant. Don't overlook what you have. Cherish life and use it to create a positive impact. This content is for entertainment and insight purposes only. Life's changes don't come with warnings. No sirens, no countdown. Just one moment and everything is different forever. We trick ourselves into believing tomorrow will look like today. But one phone call, one choice, can split time into before and after. We chase what's next while life gives us small gifts. A smile from someone we love, a sunset that makes us pause. How often do we really see them? Ask someone who's lost someone they loved. The moments they remember aren't grand achievements. They're ordinary mornings made unforgettable. If you woke up tomorrow with only what you thanked life for yesterday, what would remain? Gratitude is the first step, not the last. We're meant to let it flow outward through kindness, action, service, and joy. You may never know how a kind word changes someone's path or how your example sparks courage in another, but you are shaping the world moment by moment. You don't choose when life transforms, but you choose how you meet the moment, with regret or with peace, from having lived fully and loved well. Doing brings greater clarity than thinking. You can't just ponder your way to a new life. You must take action to shape it. Thinking deals in hypotheticals. Action deals in reality. And reality is a much better instructor than endless planning could ever be. The maze isn't a problem. The maze is a comfort zone. As long as you're thinking and preparing, you don't have to risk being wrong or failing in front of people who matter. You can think about changing your life without actually changing anything. But every small action teaches you something thinking never could. Clarity doesn't strike like lightning. It blossoms like a seed planted in effort, watered with attempts, and growing slowly through persistence. Stuck doesn't mean you can't move. Standing still means you haven't moved yet. There's a universe of difference between these two things. Even imperfect action gives you actual data. You can adjust and try things differently. You can't adjust a thought. You can only think more thoughts about it. Reading the map without leaving your house won't get you anywhere. Eventually, you have to walk out the door and see what's actually there. The life you imagine takes shape not because you thought about it harder or planned it better, but because you built it piece by piece, step by step, and mistake by mistake. Pursuing happiness often leads to discontent until you understand that happiness comes from living authentically. We chase happiness like it's waiting in the next success, the next relationship, or the next version of ourselves. But it was never ahead of us. It was always right here. Real happiness doesn't shout or demand. It waits quietly for you to slow down long enough to feel it. You find happiness in authenticity, in being honest with yourself, even when the truth isn't pretty. Happiness isn't about fixing yourself. It's about allowing yourself to be imperfect, to feel joy in ordinary days, to let life be enough even when it's messy. When you stop chasing happiness, you start living authentically. And in that honesty, peace finds you. Not because everything is right, but because you've stopped fighting what is. You don't have to find happiness. You just have to stop running from yourself and looking for joy in places where it never lived. The exhausting pursuit ends when you realize happiness comes from acceptance, not achievement, from being human, not being perfect. Feeling lost is normal. You don't owe your past self anything, but you owe your current self everything. Your past selves made plans with incomplete information. You've lived things they've never had to face. Their map doesn't have to be your destination. Being lost isn't a sign you failed. It's a sign you're honest enough to admit the old destination doesn't fit anymore. You can spend years trying to become someone who made sense to a person you're not anymore, or you can choose a destination that fits who you are now. The version of you from 5 years ago doesn't have to live with the consequences of staying on their path. You do. Stop pretending you're headed somewhere you're not. Being lost is just a phase between destinations, not an identity. You owe yourself honesty about what's working and what's not. You owe yourself permission to change your mind. You owe yourself movement even when it's uncertain. Staying loyal to an old plan just to prove you're not a quitter isn't courage, but choosing a path that fits your current self is. You're not betraying your past self by changing direction. You're honoring the person you've become with everything you've learned since then. Self-love grows from accepting and understanding yourself, which requires solitude to create space for inner reflection. You can't love yourself if you don't know yourself, and you can't know yourself if you never spend time alone. Self-love isn't a destination, it's a relationship, and like any relationship, it requires time. You start to like the person you find there, not because they're perfect, but because they're real. That person has been waiting for you, not with anger, not with judgment, just waiting. You stop needing constant validation from other people because you're learning to validate yourself. The person waiting for you in that quiet silence, the real you underneath all the noise, deserves your time. Being alone doesn't scare you anymore. It feels like coming home. The world may be guiding you towards your true self, but without pausing to reflect, you'll miss its message. Life doesn't shout, it nudges. Reflection is how you tune your inner frequency to the world's quiet signals. Whatever you avoid holds your next breakthrough. Stillness doesn't slow you down, it sharpens you. You don't become someone else, you become more you. Accidents aren't accidents, they're breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. Once you hear life's message, you can't unhear it. Life was trying to steer you, not through force, but through signs. You don't live just once, you live many lives in one. You're a river, not a stone. Let yourself flow into new forms. Every ending gives birth to a new version of you. To grow, you must outgrow. You can start a new life at any time. Growth is not an addition, it's a transformation. When the next life calls, answer it. Major life changes are like reincarnations without dying. Your identity is not fixed, not by even a little. So here's my takeaway. Recognize when you're lost and give yourself permission to change course. Understand that happiness comes from authenticity, not achievement. Doing something beats just thinking about something. And appreciate what you have right now.
Pearl sounds digital, obviously.